Hello everyone, welcome to From the Star Wars Home Video Library. I'm your host Nathan P. Butler, author of A Saga on Home Video, and one of the things we have seen for a while now is an interesting juxtaposition between what happened in the United States with Revenge of the Sith in 2005 and in other parts of the world. As you, I'm sure, know, as an aficionado of Star Wars Home Video stuff, the United States got DVD releases, both in full screen and widescreen, of Revenge of the Sith in 2005, but we did not get a VHS version at all. That meant that if you were in the US and you wanted to complete a VHS collection of the first 6 films, the Lucas films, you couldn't. At least not in any legitimate way. There were fan-made ones that came later, perhaps. I'm supposing you could get a bootleg or something back then, but there just really wasn't any way to do that legitimately in the US because there was no US release on home video of Revenge of the Sith for VHS. DVD, yes. VHS, no. But that was not the case in other regions. Probably the most well-known is the fact that you could get a UK VHS of Revenge of the Sith, and that could sort of fill out your collection. But you couldn't really watch it because it'd be PAL, but at least you'd have it in your collection. But we've seen other releases of Revenge of the Sith on VHS from various regions. We've seen from Japan, or from Finland, for instance. Well, now we have another to add in there, which is a really cool-looking one that actually comes from one of my favorite regions to get modern Star Wars home video releases. Or I guess I should say one of my previous favorites, because I guess it looks like they're not getting any anymore, as Walt Disney Studios Home Entertainment pulls out of much of Asia, which kind of sucks. That is South Korea. This is a South Korean release here on VHS of Revenge of the Sith. One of my favorite looking ones. I always like the look of many of the South Korean releases, at least all the ones I've got my hands on. I'm kind of hoping to branch out more into the South Korean Star Wars stuff as I build out my foreign library here among the US stuff. But up here, you got the logo, you got the 3 behind it, the Roman numeral 3 as we'd expect, but then the entire logo there for Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith is in Korean. Then we've got our little thing down here. It says all admission price according to Google Translate, so I'm not entirely sure what that would mean in this case. That same thing is here, by the way. Then we got that nice imagery here, nice big clear case with the imagery kind of not really centered here, but very pronounced. And then you've got your little hologram here for 20th Century Fox Home Entertainment. Kind of hard to see in the light there. I'm trying to make it so you can at least sort of see it, but failing in doing so whatever there. Moving on to the spine, we got 20th Century Fox Home Entertainment, because of course that's who was putting these out at the time. The logo there, Star Wars in English with the 3 behind it, and then the logo again here in Korean, that classic image there. And then you've got your Lucasfilm. Then the back, all in Korean, pretty much, but you have your tagline, images there, information about it, cast crew information, the legalese and various images here. Does note subtitling here, all that kind of stuff there. Kind of what we would see in those other regions, sometimes in English, just translated over for the South Korean market here. And then inside, this is a 20th Century Fox Home Entertainment case, interestingly enough here. Nothing on the interior artwork or anything. But I really like the look of their cassettes here. So we have the image here, that poster style image that we see there, with 20th Century Fox Home Entertainment just down here in the corner. Then the logo there with your stats and legalese, all that kind of stuff here. And then that same little all admission price, whatever that is, noted right there. And then it actually does have spine artwork, which you don't see a lot on later VHS cassettes, where you got kind of a piece of this with sort of that pointed into, which I think is kind of a cool way to do it. Within the white here, then includes the logo, the little green bit again. This part here says Hi-Fi VHS, and then 20th Century Fox Home Entertainment there as well. And in fact, even the cassette up here at the top, it does say, let's see, Super HG. There's 20th Century Fox Home Entertainment actually on the flap of the VHS right there, and here as well as the symbol. Just a very nice looking way to get Revenge of the Sith. And being South Korea, I believe that means it's also NTSC. That's what my all-region player says when I pop it in. It pops up and says NTSC. So this would be something that should be able to play in a regular American player, though I am playing it in an all-region one, so don't take my word on that necessarily. The thing about it is, this is actually a full-screen copy of Revenge of the Sith, and it is all English audio with English opening crawl, simply with Korean subtitles to go with it, with the crawl, and then of course with the film throughout. So if you are someone who's looking to complete a VHS collection of the Star Wars films, at least the live action films under Lucas, and you're in the US where we didn't get one for Revenge of the Sith, this will look odd compared to the other ones in terms of its formatting, but would give you a nice option here that looks pretty cool, even if it doesn't match the American ones, to fit on your shelves. Just very nice, cool looking cover design here. Nice, big, bulky packaging here that still looks really nice together instead of looking like a waste of space. And a really nicely designed cassette there in terms of its label and the cassette, actually the build of the cassette itself. It is full screen instead of widescreen, which is unfortunate. It does have the subtitles in there, but it is subtitles rather than dubs, so it could be something that someone who only speaks English could watch and still get enjoyment out of, as if many of us don't have the films memorized already, right? So yeah, another cool addition here for my Star Wars home video library, this time coming from South Korea. And I do want to thank Darko Jukic over in the Star Wars Home Video group for being the one to point me to this. He didn't actually point me to this specific copy, but he had picked up one of these and showed it. I was like, that's cool! And went and found one myself here. So he made me aware of just the look of this one that made me intrigued enough to pick it up. Because usually with South Korea, I tend to pick up the newer stuff. Not a lot of the earlier stuff, but this was just too cool looking to pass up, and I do like getting different copies of Revenge of the Sith on VHS to be able to indicate that, yeah, it was available elsewhere, just not here. The US was ahead of the curve, I guess you could say, if you want to put it positively, in terms of moving towards DVD, so we didn't get a VHS. But boy, is that going to be a gaping hole for years to come in many Star Wars home video collectors' libraries. So if you're looking for something to at least fill that hole from another region, got another option here that I've now added to my Star Wars home video library. With that, we'll wrap up this episode. Thank you for watching, and may the Force be with the home video viewers.